Hello and welcome to our special coverage of the 2024 US presidential elections. I'm Lara Kılıçarslan and we are diving into the global spectacle that everyone's watching. As the saying goes, when America sneezes, the world catches a cold. The saying might have first surfaced after the Wall Street crash of 1929, but it's just as relevant today. It's a reminder that when the US makes a move, its impact is worldwide. And nothing makes this clearer than the US presidential elections. It is a truly global event. Here's why. The US president holds immense power on the global stage. Decisions made in Washington ripple across the world, shaping international diplomacy, economic policies, and security strategies. For instance, US responses to Russia's actions in Ukraine or tensions with China impact not just those regions, but global stability. And in Europe, the security of many nations is closely tied to US leadership. The US dollar is the world's reserve currency, which means when the US makes economic decisions, like adjusting trade policies, taxes, or imposing sanctions, it affects economies everywhere. For example, changes in tech regulations or trade agreements made by a new president can send shockwaves through global markets. That's why every administration's economic agenda is watched closely. The US plays a critical role in international diplomacy and crisis management. As a founding member of many key international organizations, including the United Nations, NATO, and the World Trade Organization, it has a firm hand in shaping global rules on trade, security, and international law. When the US takes a stand on conflicts in the Middle East or humanitarian crises, its policies drive global migration patterns, impact refugees and border policies, as well as international relations. It's not just about politics. The US election is also a cultural event. The coverage on the night spreads across the world, from Europe to Africa and Asia. Many tune in not just for the political drama, but because American culture is already a part of their lives. US culture, whether it's movies, music, or social media trends, has an enormous global following, making the presidential race an interesting show for many across the world to tune in to watch. Regardless of who sits in the White House, the results will echo around the world. Dominic looks at the expectations and global implications.
Terrible term to use the word garbage. We're garbage.
Either Republican candidate Donald Trump or his main challenger Kamala Harris, Americans will be choosing the next person to oversee the world's biggest economy and most powerful military. Arguably, that new leader's biggest headache lies in the Middle East. Politically, the new leader's biggest and most immediate international challenge will be conflicts around the world. Israel's genocidal assault on Gaza has killed upwards of 43,000 Palestinians and caused widespread devastation. Relying on unwavering US military and political support, Tel Aviv has expanded its war to Lebanon, where nearly 2,800 people have already been killed.
With regards to the American president who will be elected, we hope he or she will benefit the Palestinian people. We look at how they will serve the people of their own country before serving us, the Palestinian people. What did President Biden do for the Palestinian people, the American people and university students, and the demonstrations and protests that happened in universities? It was all against Biden. That is why, as we say in Arabic, he left before losing.
And then there's the Russia-Ukraine war in its third year. The sympathetic Biden administration has generously supported Ukraine's military to fend off Russia's advances. It's unclear whether Trump, whose views on Russia differ, will hold the line. But what exactly do Ukrainians think?
You've got two different candidates that have two completely different views on Russia's war in Ukraine. You've got one candidate that says, we need peace, and I will go ahead and figure things out before they take office, which is extremely unlikely that could ever even happen without one country giving up most of its land. And all of the demands that Russia wants. And you've got another candidate that says we'll give Ukraine everything they need to make this war end and bring Russia to the negotiation table, which is something that is obviously a better selection.
Anti-China sentiment is another issue that cannot be swept under the carpet. Trump has proposed a blanket tariff on all countries, but for China, it's up to 60% as he seeks to penalize those who deviate from using the US dollar in international trade. Harris, on the other hand, is expected to maintain Biden's policies on Chinese imports that pose a threat to America's national security. Either way, tariff adjustments will have a global fallout.
If tariffs on China going into the US go up dramatically, that could have a big impact on Australia, adversely affecting our exports and pushing the Aussie dollar down. So there's quite a lot riding on this election, not just for the US, but also for Australia.
It's very obvious Kamala Harris and Donald Trump have their unique ways of doing things, and most governments are prepared for overall continuity in relations with the US. There are, however, those that are preparing for change with only the pace or intensity still unknown.
In recent decades, social media has evolved from a casual communication tool to a key player in US elections. Candidates have poured resources, including a huge amount of cash, into digital advertising.
The first social media president, Barack Obama, led the charge in 2008, spending $8 million on digital ads. By 2012, that doubled to $16.4 million. In 2016, Donald Trump set the bar even higher with a whopping $85 million, while Joe Biden followed closely with $84 million in 2020.
Social media has become a campaign cornerstone, allowing candidates to connect directly with voters. Platforms make political discourse accessible to all, giving candidates a chance to reach larger audiences.
Madam Vice President, are you on TikTok?
Well, I've heard that recently I've been on the For You page, so I thought I'd get on here myself.
The president is now on TikTok.
It's my honor. I'm going to save TikTok.
This year, candidates have extensively leveraged TikTok, exploiting trends to boost their campaigns. Ironically, this is while both Democrats and Republicans want to ban the app over its connections to China. Social media influencers are breaking new ground in the 2024 US elections. This year, over 270 digital creators got media credentials to national party conventions, bringing the action straight to younger voters online.
Regardless of political views, right, I think nowadays left and right are getting their information on social media. So it's important to have people like us here so we can take that message directly to the audience who might not see the convention on television or on traditional news.
Creators are like a huge messenger in the news economy today. We share stories with the public just like news anchors do, and in many ways, indisputably, we reach more people.
We reach crowds that are just as big as mass media, and I think, you know, we especially reach young people, and I think that our voices, giving information to them in a way that is palatable.
In a time where the media has become about truth on the side of spin and profit, someone like me that isn't looking for the profit aspect but is really looking for the truth aspect, that becomes what people hold on to because they know that what I'm doing is authentic, they know I actually care, and they can tell from the way that I do it. I've never done this for profit or fame, I've always done this for facts.
Social media's power comes with a number of extra challenges. The rise of platforms like X, Instagram, and TikTok has sparked serious concerns about maintaining the integrity of the democratic process. They're often accused of enabling fake news, digitally altered content, and manipulation.
When big tech heads from Google, Meta, and Apple faced intense questioning in the Senate in late September this year, they were made to reveal how they go about tackling election misinformation and foreign interference. Notably absent was Elon Musk, the CEO of X. He didn't even send a representative. X's crowdsourced fact-checking tool Community Notes was found largely ineffective against the surge of US election misinformation. The Center for Countering Digital Hate reported that
corrective notes were missing from 74% of posts flagged as misleading. leaving significant holes in X's defense.
Some users on X are making thousands by spreading election misinformation and AI-generated images. A recent BBC investigation revealed networks of accounts sharing misleading content multiple times a day. These users claim they earn anywhere from a few hundred to several $1,000s by boosting their reach through coordination. Despite being unaffiliated with official campaigns, they attract attention from politicians. With X's new monetization rules rewarding engagement, sensational content is thriving.
Elon Musk's open backing of Donald Trump has only amplified questions about X's influence in politics.
I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark, gothic MAGA.
Musk hasn't just endorsed Trump. He has welcomed him back to X, held a live-stream chat with him, appeared at his rallies, and even started a daily $1 million giveaway to registered voters in swing states until November 5th. Election officials and legal experts have slammed this move, calling it improper and questioning its legality. On the other hand, Meta and TikTok have taken a more neutral approach, dialing back their algorithms' role in promoting political posts.
What's an election without some gaffes? And this 2024 edition has definitely not disappointed. We leave you with some standout moments.
I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships.
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's what anyway, we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death.
My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You threw all the facts.
We love Joe and Jill. We really do. They truly are like family to us. And we do. Everybody here does.
It's mutual.
I knew you were still there. You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching you, kid.
If I took this shirt off, you'd see a beautiful, beautiful person. But you'd see wounds all over me. I've taken a lot of wounds, I can tell you.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be Vice President, but I think she was not qualified to be President.
But I say that I am much better looking than her. I think I'm much better.
My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes, I hear that. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets. Nobody's in charge. Joe Biden is asleep. Kamala is at a dance party with Beyonce.